So I'm going to use a quick run through some of the more kind of problem solving type things in the web section. So we've got this website called GridAware that tracks the amount of renewable energy being used on the national grid. It's got multiple pages. We've got code here from renewables.html and style.css. So this is not necessarily the whole website, this is just some pages. If I look over the page, and you can see my kind of crude doodle here with the background colour, we have to draw how the renewables page would look when viewed in the browser. Some of the content has already been added. So if I go back, stuff that wasn't there that I've added in, well, I've done this background, I've added in this, I've added this for solar, and I've added this for batteries. I don't remember why one of them is typed and one of them is hand-drawn there. And then I've shown that this is in a separate div because it's not part of the background colour of the page. So the page is white, and then divs would be white, but this particular one was yellow. So let's look at why that is. If I split this up into divs, if I kind of draw lines across it to split it up. So in my body here we've got h1 GridAware and the link, and then we'll get a div id equals solar down to /div, and then there's another one here, just going to mark that, so that's solar div, and then this one is another div with no id, so that would just obey the normal div rule. Here, this one on the other hand is going to follow what's in solar. So we've got the heading and the image, so that's why I put the heading above the image, and this paragraph which was already on it. Now if I look at id equals solar, the only thing that this is really changing is the background colour, so it's going to be a yellow div, and that's why that's going to stand out a different background colour. I mean, if I'd just drawn a box there, that's going to be fine. I wasn't expecting it to be coloured in. Then H2, let's see, there is no specific rule for H2, so that's just going to be written plain. As we would expect it to be, it's going to be slightly bigger than the paragraph, but it's not a particular colour or aligned or anything. H1 is centre aligned, which is why this one here is that. So that's centre aligned. State an advantage of using external CSS on a site with multiple pages. So changes only need to be made once in the one CSS file to affect every page, and therefore it's saving me time. Now I've used this illustration before, but imagine if you've got your CSS file and then you've got a bunch of HTML files. So if they all use the same CSS file, then whenever you make a change here, that's going to affect how each one of these looks in the browser. On the other hand, if you had internal CSS, and then each page had some CSS and some HTML, and some CSS and some HTML, then when you make a change here, it's only going to affect this one, it's not going to affect the HTML on another page, or it's not going to affect how it looks. So this is external and this is internal. So if we make that change in one place, then it's going to roll out to all of the pages, and chances are that's something you want, because then it's going to help you with consistency across multiple pages. The status page shows how much of the national grid's energy is currently coming from each source. So it's actually a typo in here that again I have fixed in the real one. So coal, gas, solar, wind, nuclear and hydro. This is what it looks like to start with. You can see each one is in its own div. So these boxes, each one of these is a div. And then there's a heading 3, there's a paragraph, so that's all inside each of these boxes. Write a CSS rule that would give sections for each renewable energy source, solar, wind and hydro, a green background of white text. So green background, that's going to be background colour, and white text, that's just going to be colour. Sometimes people write something like text colour or foreground colour or something. It's not. So this is background colour. So essentially that's easy, but how am I going to make just these ones stand out? Well, I'm only being asked to write the CSS rule, so I'm not changing the HTML. Whereas in the 2023 paper, for example, I had to edit the HTML as well as editing CSS. I'm not doing that, so I've got to use existing HTML. Now, if I look at each of these divs, they've already got classes. So they've got fossil class. I'm just going to get a highlighter and do them a different colour. So we've got this fossil, and then if we go right, renewable, and it goes a different colour. So I've already got a class that applies to them. So therefore, if I make that same colour, I'll go down here. If I say dot renew, because that's where it is up there, and then I'm changing the colour, so background colour green and colour white. So really the problem solving element there is getting the idea that it's already got this class that I'm going to use.